Om Sri Gurupyo Namaha. Hare Guruvayurappa Charanam. This is Dasaka 83 of Narayaneeyam, which is PAUNDRAKA VADHAM and VIVIDA VADHAM. Srimad Bhagavatam Dashamam Chapter 65 to 68 are condensed here. Poundra, a kingdom in eastern India, was ruled by a king named Vasudeva. Being from Poundra, he was a Poundraka and was widely known as Poundraka Vasudeva. This king was an S-man, that sycophant of Jarasandha, the emperor of the mighty Magadha kingdom. Like all friends of Jarasandha, Panduranga too had one chief enemy, Krishna. Vasudeva of Dwaraka, Krishna, had killed Jarasandha's son-in-law, the fearsome Kamsa, and had, along with his brother Balrama, defeated Jarasandha himself in battle, not less than 17 times. He had then transported his kingdom and all his people from Mathura in the north to the mysterious Dwaraka, the location of which was unknown, preempting further attacks. What was worse was that people all across the Arya nation had started talking about Krishna as God incarnate. Poundraka could not stand it. He returned to Poundra, defeated at the hands of Balrama. Some of his courtiers, with conspiracy and flattery, being wondrous tools of corruption, led him into believing what seemed to be the talk of the town, that he was the Vasudeva. He had been Vasudeva for as long as he could remember. His conviction grew so deep that he fabricated an entire alternate version of Krishna with 4 arms and an implement of Vishnu in each of them, fabricated Sudarshana, Kaumodagi, Saranga, Nandaka, etc., the famous weapons of Vishnu. Krishna laughed long and hard after the messenger finished reading out a message from Poundraka, which said, "Being a merciful Lord, I shall spare your life and might, even consider appointing you chief of the Dwaraka region once I annex it to my kingdom." Krishna gave a reply message, "I am more than willing to transfer the ownership of all my belongings to one who is worthier of them than I. Tell him that I shall personally come and present my Sudarshana Chakra, Saranga, Kaumodagi, Nandaka, and my conch Panchajanya, along with my ever faithful steed Garuda, to him." Paundraka Vasudeva was elated. Word of the exchange reached Kashi, which was ruled by a friend of Panduranga, Kashi Raja. Kashi Raja, as the king of Kashi was known, was a far wiser individual than his friend Paundraka, and sent out a warning to Paundraka immediately. Feeling that a warning might be insufficient, he even rode to Poundra with a formidably sized army. Thus, when Krishna did finally arrive, seated on his Garuda upon the land of Poundra, he was welcomed by a huge army. Krishna, seated atop Garuda, looked down long and hard at his namesake, Paundraka, astride a chariot which had an eagle on its banner, had limited every aspect of Krishna's appearance. He had managed to color the skin of his whole body too, with the dust-colored skin. His robes were the same splendid shade of yellow favored by Krishna, and the ornaments dangling from his ears were of the form of crocodiles, again exactly like Krishna's own. The fool had even gone to the extent of imitating the tuft chest hair called Srivasa and the gem on the chest called Kaustuba that were characteristics of Krishna. Around his neck, he too wore a garland of flowers. The imitation was perfect. Krishna began laughing uncontrollably. Panduranga was furious. He somehow invoked a chakra that resembled Krishna's Sudarshana. He instructed it to end Krishna, and Krishna redoubled his laughter and allowed Paundraka's chakra to make contact with his skin, upon which it shattered. Seeing the proceedings, the enraged Kashi Raja challenged Krishna to a duel. Krishna alighted from Garuda, ascended to ground, and strung his saranga bow, ready to engage Kashi Raja in battle. Kashi Raja, who was a fierce warrior, put up a valiant effort, but in the end, Kashi Raja's head was severed from his body and went flying all the way to Kashi. Paundraka then challenged Krishna using cuss words to describe his entire clan. Krishna calmly responded, "O king, your foolishness appears boundless to me. The only way I can end it is by conceding to your demands. You asked for Kaumodiki and Panchajanya, here they are." And he blew his conch once before hurling it and his mace in the air. As it travelled through the space, Panchajanya channeled air to enter it and amplify the deathly sound that Krishna had blown out through it. Kaumodiki came down, crashing Panduranga's chariot instantly, killing this charioteer and all his horses. Krishna now stepped down from his chariot. Sudarshana released itself from Saranga and made its way to the throat of the king of Poundra with lightning speed. Before dying, Panduranga saw a four-armed being in space, armed with bow, mace, sword and chakra, and the imitator shut his eyes with the sight of the real Vasudeva Krishna. The son of the king of Kashi, Sudakshana, created a demon, Kritya, using black magic to destroy Dwaraka with the help of some corrupt priests. However, Krishna's Sudarshana chakra set fire around Kashi. The whole kingdom was burned, and Sudakshina and his priests were killed. VIVIDA, who had helped Rama to kill demons, decided to meet with death at the hands of a part incarnation of Bhagavan. During Krishnavadara period, he was born as a wicked person and was Narakasura's minister. He fought with Balarama and was killed by Balarama. These are the contents of this Dasaga, and we are going to see the slokas here now. रामेथ गोकुलगदे प्रमदा प्रसक्ते हूदानुपेद यमुना दमने मदान्ते स्वैरं समारमदिसेवकवादमूढो दूदं नियुङ्क्त तव पौण्ड्रक वासुदेव. Then, when intoxicated, Balarama was sporting happily and at will with the damsels, he called over Yamuna to him. When Yamuna did not comply to his wishes, he subdued her by turning her course. At that time, Paundraka Vasudeva, misled by the ill advice of his subordinates, sent a messenger to thee. Narayanoham avadirna ihasmi bhumau dalse kila tvamabhi mamaka Ulsrijyatani sharanam vrajamamidi tvam dudo jagada sagalair hasidas sabayam. I am Narayana and have descended here on this earth. It seems you too bear my emblems. Abandon them and surrender unto me. Thus the messenger said to thee, to the amusement of all in the assembly. Dudetha yadavadi yadava sainikaistvam yado dadarshita vapu kila paundragiyam tabena vakshasi kridanga malpamulya sri kaustubam magara gundala pidachelam. After the messenger had departed, thou went with Yadava army to the capital of Paundraka. There thou saw the ridiculous form of Paundraka's body marked by a burnt sign representing Srivatsa, an invaluable gem round his neck representing the Kaustuba, and wearing all fish-shaped ear ornaments and yellow silk garment. कालायसं सुदर्शनमस्य दोस्य कालानरोल्करकिरेण सुदर्शनेन शीशं चगर्थिदमर्थिदजास्य सेनां तन्मित्रकाशिबशिरोऽपि चगर्थकाश्याम्. Paundraka threw his own Sudarshana made of black iron at thee, though then cut off his head by thy Sudarshana, which was emitting sparks of cosmic fire, and crushed his army. Though also cut off the head of his friend Kashi and hurled it into Kashi itself. Yalyena balaka kirapi kilahameva Srivasudeva iti rudamadichiram saha Sayujyameva bhavadaikyatiyagado bodhe ko nama kasya sukrutam katamityaveyade. It may be due to stupidity or due to believing the immature words of young people that Paundraka for long firmly believed in his mind that he himself was indeed Vasudeva. This thought made him constantly be in oneness with thee, and so he attained Sayujya, union with Bhagwan. Who knows whose good deeds lead him where and to what credit? काशीश्वरस्य तनयोदसुदक्षिणाख्यः सर्वं प्रपूज्य भवते विहिताभिचारः कृत्यानलं कमपि बाणरणादिभीदैः भूदैः कदञ्जनवृदैः समभभ्यमुञ्जत्. Then the son of king of Kashi, called Sudakshina, fervently worshipped Shankara. He performed black magic on thee and released an evil fierce fire named Kritya. He also somehow mobilized the Bhutas who were frightened during the battle, though fought with Bana. तालप्रमाणचरणामखिलं दहन्तीं कृत्यां विलोक्य चकितैः कथितो विपौरैः द्यूतोत्सवे किमपि नो चलितो विभो त्वं पार्श्वस्थमाशु विससर्जितकालचक्रम्. The frightened citizen saw the Kritya fire with long legs like palm trees burning everything, and they informed thee of this. Though without stirring from thy seat at the game of dice in which thou were engrossed, deployed thy Sudarshana discus, which was ready at hand. अभ्यापदत्यमिदधाम्नि भवन्महास्त्रे हाहेदि विद्रुतवती खलु घोरकृत्या रोषात् सुदक्षिणमदक्षिणचेष्टिदं तं पुप्लोषचक्रमपि काशीपुरीमथाक्षीदे. Thy ever-brilliant great weapon dashed towards Kritya. The terrible Kritya ran away shouting in distress and in anger, burned down the impious action Sudakshina himself. Thy Sudarshana discus in turn burned down the city of Kashi. सकलु विविधो रक्षोखादे कृतोपकृतिपुर तव तु कलया मृत्युं प्राप्तुं तथा कलतां गतः नरकसजीवो देशक्लेशं सृजन्नगरान्तिके झटिति कलिना युध्यन्नद्दाः पपादतलाहदः. Long ago, Vivida, the monkey who had helped thee in killing the Rakshasas during the incarnation as Rama, nursed the desire to be killed by thy part incarnation. As a minister of Naragasura, he took to evil ways and started creating sufferings for the people in the vicinity of Dwaraka. In a fight with Balrama, he was killed with ease by a blow of Balrama's hand in no time. Sambam Kauravya-putri Harananiyamidam Swandhanarthi Kurunam Yadastodvakya-rosho Dradakarinagaro Mochayamasa Rama Te Khatyaha Pandavaihi Idi Yadubratanam Namuchastvam Dadani Tam Tvam Durbodhalilam Pavanapurapade Tabashandyai Nisheve. Samba was a captive of the Kurus because he had abducted their daughter. Balaram went to the Kurus to pacify them but was enraged by their talks and lifted up Hastinapur and released Samba. Though did not send the Yadava army to confront them because they wanted that the Kurus be killed by the Pandavas, though whose sporting ways are unfathomable. O Hare Guruvayurappa, I worship thee so as to remove my sufferings. With this sloga, this chapter 83 of Narayaneeyam has been completed. Now we will listen to Sati Suresh's chanting sloga.
Sri Krishna Govinda Narayanananda Shri Vasudeva Mukunda Hare Dhanvanthamerunna Nelluvai mevunna Dhanvantare Natha Kaitozhunnin Kalyanamurte Kadal Varna Pahimam Nilluvai mevunna Narayana Vyadi Pidipettuഴലും ജനത്തിൻ്റെ ആദി കളഞ്ഞു തെളിഞ്ഞിടണം ആനന്ദമേറ്റും വരമരുളിടുന്ന നാഗാരി വാഹന നാഥ ഹരേ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ